I put together 10 questions to a healthier and happier love. Think of one of the relationships you really want to improve. Let's just go through these questions thinking about that relationship, okay? Question number 1. Are you really aware about what it's like to be in a relationship with you? I think about this a lot with my own wife. What's it like for her to be in a relationship with me? That very one question is so humbling to me. Are you aware what your demands create, what your needs are, what your expectations are? What's that like for the other people around you? Question number 2. Do you truly listen to understand your partner, or are you listening to just respond? When two of us are always just listening to respond to each other, what we're really creating in a way is a dueling monologue. Two people monologuing, trying to get our next point in, right? But if you're truly listening to understand somebody, you need to be able to turn off some of your own thinking. You need to be able to actually paraphrase back what you're hearing them say. Are you good at separating your need to reply from your need to understand? Because remember, you got to understand their content, all those words they're saying. You've also got to understand their emotion and their feelings. If you can understand them, then you actually have more power to influence them when you do decide to share your side. Number 3, do you give your partner the same grace you give yourself? Some of us give our partners a lot less grace. We negatively interpret them, we judge them, we beat them up. Some of us give our partners even more grace than you give yourself. Either too little or too much can be a little dangerous. Because if you're giving too much grace, then you might keep letting them walk on you over and over again. And that might be important for you to go evaluate. Why am I so willing to keep giving the benefit of the doubt? Or why am I so unwilling to give my partner the benefit of the doubt? Grace, I believe, means to do the greatest good. Sometimes the greatest good is that you quit nagging your partner. And sometimes the greatest good is that you give feedback. And sometimes the greatest good is that you rebuke them. How do you manage that? Question number 4. When it comes to your marriage, do you have an open and teachable heart? Are you open to learning? Are you open to changing, to adapting and growing? Or do you kind of have a little bit of a closed heart? You don't want the feedback. I'm tired of being told I'm wrong, right? I have so many clients that you can just kind of tell instantly that their heart is more closed. And if we have a closed heart, then we don't have anywhere to go from there. Do you come to the marriage with an open heart and a teachable heart? Are you willing to change? Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to grow? Another question for you. Ready? Can you be vulnerable with your partner without feeling the need to fight, flight, freeze, or please? The minute there's tension and you're vulnerable, do you tend to open up with more fight? If they push back on you, do you flight? Do you run more? Do you freeze not knowing what to do? Or are you a pleaser? Generally, what triggers us to want to please or to fight or flight or freeze is that deep inner sense of 4 things: that I'm not loved, or I'm not lovable, or I'm not capable, I don't know enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not perfect enough, or I don't belong, I'm an outsider, or I'm not safe. Lovable, capable, belonging, and safe. Those tend to be the vulnerability triggers. Boop, boop, boop. And when those things trigger, each of us will have our natural fight or flight system turn on. Can you be vulnerable with your partner without turning on your survival system? Because if you can't, it doesn't mean you're broken. See, I'm a loser. I'm never going to find. Don't go there. What it means is that's somewhere we need to work. And that's our own ability to feel safe attachment. Question number 6. Do you regularly acknowledge how you contribute to the cycles you complain about most in your marriage? I have a lot of clients that have parental estrangement issues, right? So a parental estrangement is kind of a phenomenon we've had happening maybe about the last 10 years. There are a lot of young couples that now won't let grandmas and grandpas or moms and dads that think differently or are aggressive or more direct or not necessarily healthy. They won't let them around them as a couple or their children. I was sitting with a couple where the parents were working with their kids to stop this estrangement and to start working together so that grandma and grandpa could be more involved in the family to make a safe culture, okay? But one of the assignments that I gave them was to go each identify with their own self-awareness how they contribute to the cycle that's going on in this family. And it was beautiful to see what they wrote, because mom and dad could see how some of their baggage and their unresolved issues causes too much controlling to the younger generation. But the younger generation could also see that they were flighting and running, and they could see that they were doing too much to avoid. But that question allows us to figure out what part of the problem we are to the cycle. And then once we know how we contribute to our cycle, so for example, let's say your husband is seriously irritable all the time. Again, that's his irritability. He needs to go identify how he contributes to the irritability. And it might be he's tired, it might be he's got anxiety, it might be all those things. And there might be certain things you've learned about you that you know might contribute to the anxiety or the irritability, right? Like you might have a need to constantly ask questions to know what's going on. And again, that seems normal and fine, but if you know that your anxiousness makes you do that, it'd be good to own that. And then what it makes in the conversation is we could both come into the conversation as contributors to the problem, not just having one of us as the only problem. Number 7, do you manage your attention by being truly present with your partner? Do you know how to stay present and engaged with your partner right now in the now? Do you get really caught up in what happened yesterday? When you're together, are you always planning tomorrow? Research shows that being present in the now is the number one tool to actually feel happy. You can't be happy always living in the future because the only time to be happy is right now. And you can't be happy always reevaluating the past because if I'm always thinking about what happened last year, then I'm never thinking about what's happening now. Even though you have a list of 12 things that need to be done tomorrow, can you sit and be present right now? Question number 8. Is there something you've normalized in your relationship that you've known you need to change, but have not? Is there something that you have made normal that you have known for years you need to fix, but you have not fixed it yet? When I first got married, I used to write little notes to my wife a lot, and I have now normalized not writing notes. But my head tells me I should be writing more notes, but I don't. What's the change you need to create? What's the one thing that you wish wasn't normal anymore? How about just going to bed at separate times? How about not praying together? How about not being intimate more regularly? How about not saying I'm sorry? Or how about not saying thank you? Cool question, okay? Number 9, are you the sunlight or the rain cloud in your relationship? Do you bring warmth and joy and light? Do you bring a little chill? Do the people in your relationships feel good and encouraged around you? Do you tend to see the good stuff that's out there? Or do you tend to see the negative? Do you add weight and stress to the relationship? Or do you bring light and optimism? The last question, and this is one we can all ask, what's the one thing that your heart is telling you to do today to make the greatest change in your relationship? What's the one thing, just today, that your heart is telling you to do? Your conscience, your light, your spirit is telling you to bring into the relationship today that will have the greatest change. What is your conscience telling you is the one thing you need to do today? And whatever it is, just do that one thing. You don't need to overwhelm yourself. You don't need to do too much. Just do that one thing. There they are. 10 questions to help you create a healthier and happier relationship.